Hello my fellow gamers and welcome to this Dawn of War 2 at the mod tournament where we are doing round 3 now for Group A. The tables are all starting to get set now, the pieces are moving. We have at the top currently Redbeard with 2 wins out of his 2 games. We have Exion who has got 1 win but has only played in 1 game. Turley with 1 win, 1 loss. Raven with a 1 loss, and then Gorgia with 2 losses out of 2 games. Unfortunately, in this round, we are having Turley versus Exion, which is going to be fantastic because Exion has currently got 2nd place purely because he's got a 100% win ratio, where Turley technically has a 50% win ratio. So Exion, if he can win this first round against Turley, he will keep his 2nd place and push Turley down to a 3rd place for certain. Or if Turley can win this, he will then actually take 2nd place off Exion and push him down to 3rd place. Our second battle will be versus Redbeard at the very top of the table versus Raven, who is currently in 4th place. Again, if Raven can win this one, he will move up the table, contesting with Exion and Turley, and getting Redbeard maybe contested for 1st place. But if Redbeard can win this, he pretty much has got 1st place, and he will most likely make it through to the knockout stage. We'll have to wait and see. So that is the lineup for this round, guys. We'll jump to the first map now to see what factions they're playing as and the map they'll be on. In the southern corner, we have Exion in the red trunks playing as the Space Marine Loyalists. Loving the strike in blue and red colour scheme we've got going on over here. And going in the north, we have Turley as the Ordo Malleus in the blue shorts. So he's immediately got a strike squad of Grey Knights coming out here. Very intimidating forces. We also have the Inquisitor Stormtroopers immediately going for the power node, and the Brother Captain who's going for the power node over here. For Exion, the Space Marines, the Force Commander immediately going for the control point, victory point. Very good idea there. Get that lead, get those tickets dropping down. He does only have 2 scout squads though. One on the right flank, grabbing the location there, and it looks like contact has been made on the left flank. Scouts getting themselves into a better cover position there. Not fair, you could use the cover, but then again, they are the scouts they're learning. They are up against the Inquisitor Stormtroopers. Force Commander coming in to push them. They're immediately withdrawing.
We are under attack.
But the Grey Knights are now coming in, and there is another strike squad coming in. Tactical Marine Squad being deployed for the Loyalist Marine Zone. Give them that mobility, those general round troops. But oh dear, these Grey Knights have got them out of position, but the Force Commander coming in. But look at them, they push too fast, so the Stormtroopers are immediately able to get in there. The Scouts trying to get out of there. I think, oh, the Scouts have been completely wiped out. Commander's trying to do with the Grey Knights falling back. It looks like there's got to be a disengagement coming in, especially being there's a 2nd squad of Grey Knights coming in. That is not a good start for the Imperium, though they do have, oh, they now have the middle point. Here comes the Tactical Squad, giving that support, pushing the Grey Knights back, but there's a lot of firepower here. Force Commander forcing his way in there, but you don't want to get too committed, not against these Grey Knights. Where's the Brother Captain? The Brother Captain is taking on the Scouts in close combat. That is not good. Those Scouts will get wiped out if they're not quick enough getting out of there. The Tactical Marines and the Force Commander are giving ground now to the Grey Knights. The strike teams are now pushing south into the enemy territory. We do have power nodes fully uploaded here, which is good. Scouts did get away and are getting their health up, but it is now 2 points to 1 in the favour of the Grey Knights, and they're going for the 3rd point by the looks of it. They pushed the Marines right back, and they're going for the power nodes as well, so they're denying the resources and getting the domination of the battlefield. If you look at the resources here, about equal. The Grey Knights 298 to the 289 Imperium, and 24 power to the Imperium's 39. but this is not good, having these two strike squads here. But the Marines are pushing up with everything. Where's the commander? He's been left behind. He needs to move up. Looks like the tactical squad is pushing the scout strike squad back. Where's the guardsman? Yeah, they go. The guardsman is going around grabbing, well, not guardsmen, stormtroopers are going around grabbing these points here. And I think the brother captain, oh, brother captain's coming in for a flanking attack on the tactical marines. Here he comes now. This is not a good position for the tactical marines to be in. They've been shot in the back, and now they've been caught out. Commander's trying to support them there. They all have to fall back.
My aim is the same.
But we do have a Devastator squad coming in. Would be a great help for the Loyalists. They have neutralised that point, but they've not been able to take it. In comes the Stormtroopers now to grab it. The Grey Knights are not relenting. They're going for those generators, denying that power resource.
I hear you. Go
The brother captain's even got Blessed Argus, so grants Argus energy shield. Lets him absorb damage at the cost of 4 energy, which is pretty good. Looks like, yep, they're moving in, but the main strike force, pretty much everything's here. Where's the Devastators? Devastators are set up. The heavy bow is now going to open fire on them, letting them rip. There goes that force field. Got scouts coming in as well, but the Grey Knights do have all 3 of the victory points now, and that is ticking along really, really quickly. There goes the power node as well. The Grey Knights have pinned the Marines in. The Marines probably want to try and push on the right flank if they can, because they can't get any gains here. Not with the Imperial Guard. The Grey Knights are holding. Oh, the captain's trying to get... Oh, he's down. He's been taken down. Everything focused fire. Now the scouts are being focused down as well. Devastator's getting themselves into a position here, but it looks like a few grenades are being dropped there. There you go. Now the Grey Knights are forced back, but that's going to cost them. And, oh. It looks like Axion has thrown in the towel, even though he was making a push on the right flank here, and had actually forced these guys back. I think the resource count, yeah, his resources are practically non-existent. The Grey Knights are dominating the field. Well, it's hard to tell on this white map, but the blue is pretty much all over, so they've been pinned in, and I think losing the Force Commander was just too much for the Imperial Space Marines to recover from. So the Grey Knights have been able to push it, and now they've just fallen back. They can get their strength back up. They've barely lost any models. Yeah, I mean, what's that they've got as well? Yeah, there you go. The Stormtroopers have got grenade launchers, so they can disrupt as well. And I think Axion just thought there's just nothing else he could do here. He can't really push, because if he tries to push on the right flank, he could do, but the Grey Knights have got such forces, they could pretty much destroy anything. If the Space Marines try to split, then the Grey Knights can just overpower them, and if they focus together, the Grey Knights can just outmaneuver them. So guys, that's the first round done already, an incredibly fast round. We'll now move on to round 2, which is Redbeard versus Raven. Playing in the south corner in the red shorts as the amazing Dark Angels, and I'm loving this. Look at this, guys. Doesn't he look majestic with his fancy hat on? Absolutely love it. And his cape as well. Playing as the Dark Angels in the south corner, we have Redbeard, who is currently top of the table. In the north corner, we have Raven playing as the Inquisition. I believe, yeah, that's the Imperial Guard, sorry, as the Inquisitor as their Lord, with that really creepy skull mask on, because that's perfectly normal. And the Space Marines they're playing as, of course, the Force Commander. I should probably point that out. So very interesting map, this one, because you've got a victory point right in the middle, and you can technically just walk to each other's bases. Of course, you can't really do that regarding Dawn of War 2 because they've got turrets, but yeah, that does play a factor. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. It looks like the Dark Angel Scouts are going to move in to try and get that victory point. Oh, so it looked like, yep, the Sentinel scared off the Force Commander from the center one, but the Sentinel has moved back to deal with the Scouts. So, Dark Angel so far have their Force Commander that is going for the northeast corner, getting those points and the victory point there. We have the Scouts who have fallen back, but they're now moving back up. And we have a Tactical Squad, which is capturing the furthest points away from the Imperial Guardsmen. And look at this job as well. Third company, or is that third squad? Pretty sure that's third company, but correct me if I'm wrong. But they are capturing the requisition those. We also have another tactical squad coming in. For the Imperial Guard, we of course... Oh, they found the scouts, they're going, but they have neutralized it. The Imperial Guard do have the center victory point, though. And they do have 2 squads of guardsmen. You've got a Sentinel and you've got an Inquisitor. Gotta say though, whoever does the modding, they need to sort out that breathing thing. It's only with the Steel Legion, but every so often you used to have this really loud breathing ticking noise sound effect. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit frustrating as a commentator because it's louder than everything. I've turned the music and volume down, but that seems to be deafening all the time, and I've no idea why. But we do have now a tactical squad coming in from the northeast. The commander is grabbing all the points. So Redbeard is definitely going for all of the points here, while the Imperial Guard is trying to hold the victory points. As you see, the tickets are dropped down. But the Space Marines are now making their push in, pushing the Guardsmen off the center with 2 tactical squads and the Scouts coming in. That's a lot of fun. And here comes the Force Commander coming from the north as well. Now they've captured all this side of the map. Sentinel, who has got the ground pound ability, is trying to support, but he's taking a lot of damage. He's only got armor. He's at half health. He's got to get out of there though. Oh, that was a close one. That was incredibly close. But that has left the Imperial. I keep saying Imperial Guardsmen was Space Marines. No idea why. The Space Marines holding the majority of the battlefield, and the Force Commander has even pushed these Guardsmen off the squad ability now. So now they're grabbing all the locations here, and the Scouts are grabbing the victory points where the Guardsmen have been pushed back, and they're trying to get their strength back up. But now they've got their strength back up, they are pushing out. How are we doing regarding... That's the wrong button, Shadow. Oh dear, there's not much on either side, but the Space Marines have definitely got more. Nearly 100 points more in requisition than the Imperial Guard, and they're a little bit behind in power, but that's not so important in the early stages. Force Commander getting to the thick, so the command Inquisitor, they're both getting into the thick of it. Are those Dark Angels running? It does appear to be so. Yeah, it looks like the Space Marines are going to fall back. Oh no, but he has been caught out, he's been snared. There he goes though, he does have the Iron Halo, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Now the Dark Force Commander is down. That is a big win for the Imperial Guard if they can capitalize on it. We do have the Scouts, they're just taking on some power generators, trying to deny them those resources, deny them the one lead they've got at the moment. Boom, the Commander straight away back in there. He does have an Iron Halo as well, which absorbs 5 damage per every point of energy lost. While they're recovering though, the Imperial Guard getting that center point. See, it has the Holy Brother, this has the Flaming Fit, okay, the Flaming Stick. So, Holy Pyre ability, which damages enemies 4 piercing damage DPS and reduces damage output enemies in an area by 20%, 50 power melee DPS. So she's grabbing the requisition point, the victory point's being grabbed by the Imperium. In comes the Dark Angels though, all guns blazing. Commander full strength as well with his Iron Halo. Immediately got the Sentinels blew up a tank. But they are falling back to a better position up here where the Inquisitor can help as well. But we do have the Scouts. They're still taking out those generators. And they're capturing that second point. Tier 2 for the Imperial Guard. So the Imperial Guard are going for Tier 2. And they are falling back. They're actually falling back. Then the Space Marines take it. So Redbeard's going to grab that, which means he's going to have 3 victory points. And you see, those tickets are going to drop hugely. Yeah, I mean, the Space Marines already has over 100 points So they can kind of just take their time now. They also are going to tier 2 very, very quickly. Imperial Guard trying to get as much healing as they can done. Why does this happen though? The scouts have been completely left alone to deal with these generators. That's costing the Imperial Guard so many resources, the requisition to build them, and the power they'll be losing. The Dark Angels pushing them with one of the tactical squads as well. Is there any other upgrades I need to know about? See what I mean with that heavy breathing? Why? Why do they do that? I don't know. But it looks like the Imperial Guard are pushing back up. Sentinel leading the way. Where's the Inquisitor? Ah, see, he's gone for the southern point, and it's actually the scouts are trying to take her out. Looks like the Imperial Guard are going to get to tier 2 slightly before the Space Marines, but is it going to be enough? The thing is, the Dark Angels can't just focus on taking resources at this point. They definitely have the lead in points by quite a margin. They've neutralised the central point. They are capturing the first one, but the Inquisitor, it could cost her life if these reinforcements don't come out and deal with these scouts. Who's going to optimise on tier 2 though? That's the question. If we have a look, they've got about the same amount of resources. The Imperial Guard have twice as much power, so they could probably get more. Looks like they're going back to the centre. The Space Marines are now going to secure the centre as well. Force Commander's capturing that requisition point. Oh, that's a nice stomp ability going. And it's got missile launchers as well. Look at that. So that's doing a good job. And they're being healed as well. Doing some nice scatter damage. But don't seem to be doing that much damage to the Dark Angel's health. Sentinel has gone down. The Imperial Guard are immediately falling back now. So the Imperial Space Marines are pushing forward now. Grabbing that centre location and pushing the guards back. That was a huge loss for the guardsmen in this very fragile stage of the game here. And it looks like, yes, we are going for hammer time. It does a 50% chance to deal weapon knockback with each blow. Very effective against infantry and heavy infantry. 62.5 points melee damage DPS. He's also getting extra armor as well. So he's going full on. Yeah, health by 100, speed by half a point, and grants the sprint ability. We do have these pesky scouts who have done an amazing job. Even if it's just to keep them distracted. Neutralising that point, making sure they keep the lead. Look at this, 213 to 434. But we do have an Ogun squad, a heavy melee infantry squad. I feel like that's already kind of been countered by the Force Commander's hammer there. He'll be able to just smash those Ogans to bits. Looks like the guardsmen are taking a push though, trying to take that power node out. The scouts getting a better position. In comes the Force Commander, and he's got that Iron Halo. He's got to smash through those guardsmen. Oh, and then Inquisitor's fallen as well. Been taken down by the touch squads. The guardsmen are having to fall back. The Ogun squad is not ready. They will be shortly. But do they have enough points? No, they've got... Ah, that's because he's just brought her back. Spent all her resources again. And there's the Ogun squad. So they want to fall back. Get the scouts. Don't get cocky. Don't want to do that. You currently have 2-to-1 victory points, and you're just about to grab that. And look how quickly they can do it. They're going for that power node as well. The Imperial Guard have kind of been pinned into a corner at this point. Space Marines able to dominate the field here. Ogans, though, could turn this around. We also have plasma guns for the Imperial Guard. One of the squads have got plasma guns, which is a big deal. They're going to do a lot of damage. But in comes that Force Hammer I was talking about. Immediately knocks those Ogans down. And the 3 victory points and the tactical squads now coming in. The scouts coming in as well. Everything. And there's a Dreadnought being built for the Imperial Guard, the Space Marines. Don't know why I keep getting those two mixed up. It's Imperial Space Marines though. They're actually falling back. They're falling back because they don't need to hold. They've currently got 400 points to the 100 the Guardsmen have got. The Ogans may be getting a bit too much here. They need to... fall back. They should not get involved. Yeah, there you go. Fall back. Try and take. And look at this. They're using numbers. One group's grabbing the victory point there. One group over there. If they could get another one to the north, great. But just getting the 2 here would be a big deal. But we do have a Dreadnought coming in now for the Space Marines. Beautiful counter against the Ogans there. There he is. Oh, and look, guys. He is in the Deathwing colours. The pure white there. I know my Dark Angels slightly. Scouts, though, they've infiltrated and they've got shotguns, so they're going to walk right out. Oh, they've dropped a grenade in there. But, oh, what a hit. Taking half the squad out, and they've got behind cover the shotgun. That squad has pretty much been taken out, but they have done their job. They have not only neutralised that point, they've captured it as well. Where did the Stern Guard come from? That must have been an ability they've called down. So now they've got Stern Guards coming in. Looking absolutely fabulous. Gunning down those Guardsmen squad as well. Suddenly, this is not looking good. The Imperial Guards were trying to capture the map. And the Dark Angels have just come from nowhere and are just smashing what they've got. Look, everything's going to focus on the Ogons now. And they're just going to absolutely slaughter them. The guns of the Stern Guard, the Dreadnought, the Hammer. Oh dear, and the Tactical Squad as well. With Plasma. Yeah, the Ogons have been pretty much wiped out. What can the Inquisitor do to get back from here? We do have a second squad of Guardsmen coming in. But the Ogons have been turned. There you go, Raven has thrown in the GG. It looks like that is a win for Redbeard and his Dark Angels. Smashing down these Guardsmen. Look at that. Oh, found a hammer straight into the Commissar's face. And there we go. We've got a bombardment coming down, but the Imperial Marines do not care for this. And look, they've literally got over 400 points going. There is nothing the Imperial Guard can do now. The Space Marines just smashed them down. And there we go. That is another win for Redbeard. Let's go over the scores for the match, and then we'll look over the scores for the tournament overall. Wow, with all those games out the way, we can now look at the scoreboard. And yes, with that win, Redbeard is now at the top of the table quite happily with 3 wins out of his 3 games. I think that's safe to say he is through to the knockout. But of course, he will continue to play. I believe he's got 1 more match to go. Yes, he's only got 1 more game to go. So really, it's going to come down to, can he get a clean sweep and get 4 wins out of 4 games? Or will someone be able to upset the balance and put a loss under his name? Turley, though, has grabbed a second position by getting that win against Exion, pushing Exion down to 3rd place. But still, it's not 100% guaranteed because Exion is 1 game behind Turley. But if they're tied for points, Turley will now overdo Exion, because if it's a tie break between wins and losses, it's whoever won out of the 2 players that were tied. So Exion is really going to have to put it out for the next 2 games and hope that Turley's final game isn't that great, and he might be able to grab that 2nd place and move him back up. And unfortunately, Raven, with that loss, is now at the bottom with Gorgia, both with 2 losses. They've got 2 games to go, but they can battle for honour and glory, and of course, are not being at the very bottom of the table. Going to be very important, that one. They will have to battle each other at some point. So there we go, guys. That is the end for round 3 of Group A. Next we will have round 3 for Group B. You can see on the right side of the table or how they're set up. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I'm really looking forward to it. Some big games coming up. So guys, thank you very much for joining me. If you haven't, hit that like, subscribe buttons, and do comment below your thoughts, any feedback, any points about abilities, tactics, things like that. And I hope to see you for the next one. Till then, guys, take care.